This next part is about sparring gear. Someone may come up to the counter and ask, when do I need sparring gear? Remember, they are eligible to come to the sparring class when they have earned their 2 yellow stripes. But it's not required yet, but they can come to class if they'd like. But once they are a yellow belt testing for green stripe, it's mandatory that they do sparring at testing. And they should have their own gear. They will ask sometimes if they can borrow gear from the store, and we tell them no, for sanitary and hygiene reasons, we don't lend gear. If they don't want to purchase their own, they're welcome to look through the lost and found and put together whatever pieces they can from there and borrow it, or they can borrow it from a friend. But to keep in mind that at testing, everyone spars at the same time, so the friend may need their gear at that time. But let's say someone comes up and asks for sparring gear. They're ready to get sparring gear. The first thing I ask them is if they're a black belt club member. And if they are, that's great. I'm going to save you 10% today. And if they don't know if they're a black belt club member, that means that they're not. And so you can answer by just saying, so you have a 1-year membership, or maybe they have a limited membership, and just ask, were you interested in upgrading to a black belt club membership? Because I can save you 10% off of your gear, and you can save a lot of money today. And that might be the push that they need to upgrade. That might be a good time for them. But let's say they want their sparring gear. You can also ask them, would you like the bag also? It's a big bag and it holds all the gear. Alright, so now we go back. Let's say they say yes, they want a bag and they want the gear. So we're going to go back and size that gear. Now if you're the only one in the office, of course you have to go do it yourself. But if you're running the front counter, you can send somebody else to get the gear. But it needs to be done quickly. So a quick way to do it. We know they want a bag, we start off with the bag. And open up the bag and come back here. The first thing is the chest protector. A good way to do this is to just determine, is this person larger than you or smaller than you? You know, little kids would take a child small. A little bit bigger kids, child large. And then we have adult, small, medium, large, and extra large. Alright, so you know if you take a medium, is that person is bigger than you or smaller than you, that will help narrow it down. This is for one of the dads, so he's much bigger than me. So I'm going to get him size 5. So get out the gear. Now the best way to make this fit into the bag is to fold it like a big U shape. You open up this bag, it'll open it up so you can just drop everything else in. Okay, so this guy has a pretty big head. We're going to go with an extra large. And we're going to start from the top and work our way down. This guy's pretty tall. We're going to go with an extra large, fisted form, extra large for leg gear. Put everything inside. Groin protector. He's not real heavy set, so I'm going to go ahead with a large. Because if I were to put an extra large in here, he might be embarrassed to come back and ask for a smaller one. But I don't think he would have any problem at all coming back and asking for a larger one. So I'll put that in there. As far as mouth gear, he's going to take an adult. There's adults and children. The adult just say mouth guard. The children say youth. So I'll put that in there as well. So we've got them covered head to toe. And it's ready to go. Now give this to the customer and make sure that I charge them for it. Tell them to try on all the pieces and make sure that they fit. Once they're sure that they fit, They need to write their name on each and every piece because everybody's looks the same. I tell them there's a mouth guard in there, that they need to read the directions on the bag and get that size to their mouth. If I were to give them the directions, if I tell them to put it in boiling water and the water's too hot, or they do it for too long, then they'll come back to me and say, but you told me how to do it and it ruined it. So instead I tell them to follow the directions on the bag and fit it themselves. If you need to know how much the gear costs, price chart is right here. We always keep it in that same spot so everybody can find it. Right here. When you're finished with it, always put it back.